we're talking about materialism, the idea that your mental life emerges from your psychical brain. If you listen closely, if you think about this, I hope you acknowledge it. That is an anatomical life. I don't expect to believe it's at least not a first and a fact. For the most part, people for far more attract the doctor called dualism. Dualism is the idea that's been found in just about every religion and ever philosophy, and made expert in Plato for extent, but I think most thankful and actually defender of dualism, that's the philosopher René Descartes. Descartes believed that animal were any material thing. Therefore, that the doctor of materialism was correct about not human animal, but human are difficult. Descartes are just for human the duality. We posit two sort of thing were composed of two sort of thing were part material but were also in part spiritual, separate mental psychology in some way that doesn't request to the material. He made two argument for this, and they both resolvable good argument that lies quite responsive of the time and have persuaded many people and continued or persuade many people. The first argument for a non-material naturally that humans are capable of done thing that a machine, no material innate ever could. So it's meet a surprise to hear this Batagard in the 17th century was family with Robert. He know that a French royal garden that are like a 17th century Disneyland of Earl Disney, which had a robot that when you approach them and when you step on central stone. For instance, you might approach Diana that Neptune will jump or from the business holding a thread that does not electric but the water. So Descartes know about this robot, and Descartes asked, well, maybe such thing, maybe were just machine response in the environment, and said that it can be. He said maybe animals, not human animal can be, but human behavior is far more completed, the vergage and simple to explain it in such simple way. We return to the point later of the course when we talk about Naum Chomsky, and Naum Chomsky required of behaviors which aggravate that basic human response in the relate reflexive if you environment stimulate. Descartes along with Chomsky said, when it can be your behavior for too complicated for them. So we can be machine. His second argument, probably better now, it's the basis of unitation, and his claim was don't feel like a body and put merely technology. He applied her was called method of doubt. He asked question, what we know for sure, and when you question, so for instance, you might believe that born in such and so place, you could be wrong, you could be deciding, might believe that you're involved in your old, but maybe year was created hungry year ago at the memories that grandparents have a past where a jump manufacture. You might believe, said Descartes, that I live in wrong or think that a Satan in chair of their wall in front if you the computer now of hands. But Descartes upset the often believe such thing when a mental thing running around the psychical world, but actually the lack expansion of the heroes like Neo and Trinity, and actually just break it into some sort of system. Enough version of them brains in a white if you were brain, just the brain setting of the with electric were stimulation of expert of the couldn't help. Maybe you are something modern, the psychologist for instance village the excellent change of the stimulation we completed stimulation. So Descartes are people flowing. Descartes say where a lot can be issue that think you semangle most conduct about real fault can share. But Descartes said, what I think you can be down. You can down of the consequence. You can down your own extents. The famous line is, I think, there I am explained in the introduction, building from the fact of the could down of have a body, but you can down of the have a mind. Descartes wrote, I know I was a substance of will a stance natural of which to think, and for extent that I need of the play are not is dependent of material thing. That I say, the soul by which I am entirely distinct from body. So that's a philosophical case for dualism. But I say dualism also image of the common things. Thinking about the side of body. You describe your body in from possible. My arm, my head, my body, my brain is something separate from that you consequence following the body. So I get 10-year-old, my mind 10-year-old, my brain is 10-year-old. I'm connect together, but we shall accept of the last attraction that people can hope from one body in enough. There are many commendation that involve bodies with body swam, but movie involves somebody going to sleep in the morning on the person and talk on another. But I understand fiction of the aren't real, but they make sense of the real in TV rational to the we don't work of the theory and say I am total concept of the happen there are rather and last with a naive concept of the self and accept less of the possible that I can from the body to another, none of the limited to modern day moving most famous show to history by Franz Kafka beginning since as Gregor Sam awoke the morning from any dreams he found himself transformed in the bed into gigantic antique metamorphism, informing the transformation and along before the units the chart of transformation, but chart transformation which into pig. But it took a people and turned them a pig, rest in the such words. Our conception the body in itself of the separate allows the accept idea of the many people introduction one body, the how many people think about multi personality decided something will get quite later of the cause is also wrote of where the many people both religion and non-religion hold, which is idea of demonic professional your body you can take one somebody else anything. Manufacturing of dualism is you could believe intelligent being without body. If mind of body are separate race and possible you can have one without of the other. Plain you gotta have holding without mind that opposite, but argument doesn't. You could also have mind without body. There is for extent that many people think about good of angle which imaginary being if can think that they upset or they can act but don't have psychical body in some sense that we do. Finally, and maybe most important for people, and idea of dualism, the idea of not your psychical body, race and mass of many, and including appending consequent with you can rise and destruction of body. In fact, you ask most people, religion and non-religion with happy after body is destruction. They answer in a well idea that it's the end of things, but rest of the belling of can you do life it. Maybe you enter some spring world, maybe you are set to heaven, if you including maybe the side of hill, maybe you need to be destruction of because or your body or the beliefs about personal edition of beliefs about life after death, about extents of supportment being about good. All the rest alien of self-extents and dualism perspective, so material which say dualism last plain wrong, and introduction vibe and showed the track as such, they should just think and write it down and should grab which showed about it. You should it be gregory attentive against. So why a modern day psychology and neuropsychological in causes of dualism in its mistakes? Well, very five problems which it one, immaterial world, immaterial soul is dark center question of really does answer. So think the course ask question like learn language. What do you find sexually extends? How does memory work? Here's a question about also about your mind to say, oh, my happiness, some immaterial realm lives is hope when you come to sweat them. The second concert is the time Descartes was conceived to and frame from the limitation to material thing, psychical thing, and probably a psychical thing, but a much better understand that psychical thing can do, which make entirely possible for many of the thing. So I think instance of completed the robot. For Descartes, the idea of psychical thing can do something as completed as play a game to a chair of the reduction. But how of course we know that psychical thing, if you look in a computer, the look in such psychical thing can do extends that. They can understand language, they could regress object, they could store think a memory that can mean introduced so on. No of this thing that enough near well of people do. So when you talk about language development, for instance, we said it 2-year-old children use understand language better than a computer around. So we need a better soul mind, but still no launch not to say that psychical thing can do all that right and psychical diverse of psychically compilate that the people do, which meant we take serious claim that I reflect such psychical thing the final consideration if there tremont advise the brain in fact a robot mental life, so put it side of the physical object argument. They just direct advice to some extent, direct advice of health to don't born in thinking intended center to approach getting in the head effect to construct of memory to operate the derails lacks place can lead destroying of will and consequence. algorithm can robot if you rationally. The coffee and alcohol can inflame the passion of sugaring, and the very past of mental life intimately connects the brain. You are set every something in happening which very development technology that allow look directly into the brain. Look at brain action in the from the part of the brain action of people are things so very clearly. You can put somebody in scanner, multi scanner, and could tell their or think about language or music or text. As the technology includes sun, there are such points that no impossible that I saw of you time or listen that we can put a listen person and MRT scanner and know from near patterns of near flinching. Know that the dreaming of this thing very difficult keep of mind a hold where dualism. I think material have uncomfortable however inflated away the scanner forces absurd adopt.